Greetings. I was just reading something about hospitals in America. Yeah, they're closing. Community after community, all over the place, en masse, hospitals closing because they've been bought by private equity. So it's like before it was kind of a corporation or some kind of an entity, something that had some medical background, some idea that it's practicing medicine, it's helping, doing things, providing a benefit for the community. It's a place where people are born, where people get treatment, they have emergency services available to them, and all that kind of stuff. That's the old way of thinking. The new way of thinking is that we should extract maximum profit out of the population that we can, and then maybe just move on. Destroy it. We don't care. Milk it. Strap leveraged buyouts. They're using like sort of like derivatives trading, private equity type, hedge funder type stuff to just buy these hospitals. And then when they buy the hospital in this leveraged buyout fashion, the hospital then it's like Red Lobster, right? It's strapped with debt, it's saddled with debt. And so they're being destroyed. And they're cost cutting. It all just always cut costs. Never have costs be expensive. Things have cost. Look at, they've got 6 nurses on staff down there. Do they really need that? There's not much happening. Let's cut that down. Maybe 3 nurses is fine. If they become overworked and can't get to some place, who cares? That's better than us, having some cost of paying a salary of someone, who's not just maximally employed at every second. And so, that's sad. That's not a good trend. Healthcare. People that defend it, I have a few friends that still think it's nice. I think the sad trick of the sort of celebrity tit for tat politics that we're in, what name you put on something really matters now, more so than the substance, because there's no journalism and no one has the time to really check the facts. So it's Obamacare. So people that are better off have a little bit more money, have a better plan over at Kaiser. They're at Kaiser. I'm saying Kaiser is a horrible nightmare that won't help me. They don't have that experience. They have a better experience at Kaiser. They have a better quality plan. The co-pays, and when Kaiser says we need to get $3,000 for this MRI, they can just do that. I can't do the MRI, so then the healthcare doesn't proceed for me, and I leave. But they have a better experience, and that's the two-tiered nature of our economy now that I'm talking about. It's kind of, I'm not a big Marxist, okay, but you got this phenomenon of capitalism will eat itself. And eventually you deregulate and you let a couple of entities start just eating everything up, and then they become super inefficient and brutal, and your situation is collapsing. It's the last phase of hyper capitalism. But lefties now they're not into that. They can't imagine that. They don't really want to critique healthcare too much because, again, it had this name Obamacare put on it. It's really Mitt Romney care. It's a Mitt Romney style, which basically gives a lot of license and agency to the HMO, to like aggregated financial entity type healthcare, and diminishes private doctor contact time and all that kind of stuff. That's the model. That's what it is. And it's horrible. And the cost cutting thing really hurt. We saw during the pandemic, they could have just treated people, saved lives. They didn't do that. They weren't doing that. So it was turned into a crisis center. Just crisis. Everything's a crisis. And that's where we live now. That's healthcare. That's really sad, right? We need to do better about that. Yeah, definitely. All right. Have a good one. Stay strong. Someday maybe we'll fight back. The hedge funders, they've kind of taken over, everything. Our military intelligence, our governments. It's now kind of run by a really belligerent Israel type situation that we're in right now. Speaking of which, I saw, of course, many of you saw the footage of the double tap, I'm sure, where they bombed a hospital, and then they knew that the journalists that were covering the hospital up on the roof, they bombed them, and then when the rescue workers came, they knew they were they bombed the rescue workers. That's Israel right now. Really sad. So the genocide that's taking place now in West Bank and Gaza. Oh, and today in the West Bank also, some Israeli IDF soldiers, they're just thugs. They're basically just like animal rapey thugs who hate, with super racist white supremacist thugs. They're in Israel. If you need to look, they're not in Tennessee. I'm sorry, academic liberals here in America. You're super worried about people that maybe you don't know who they are. They might have voted for Trump or something like that. There's all these people making attack videos about, if you voted for Trump, I'm going to come kill you. I hate you. If you voted for Trump, I hate your guts, Trump voter. You know what I mean? They're super triggered about, they don't even know what it is, who they are. But there really are white supremacists. They're called, they're calling themselves Jews, unfortunately. They're really not. They're from like Poland and Germany and Russia and America and stuff. They're not really Jews. But they're, brutal, murderous, opportunistic, rapey, stealing, thieving pigs. And a van load of them pretending to be civilians in like an aid-looking van that they probably killed the people inside and took the van. They entered the West Bank, Ramallah, the town of Ramallah, and then they went to where this place where they knew a bunch of money was, an exchange thing there, and just took the money, just straight up like thief thugs, just mafia, just boom, just go in there, just grab the money. Who's going to do something about it? Nobody. Oh my gosh. And there's your Lindsey Graham and most of our Congress, lots of Democrats, Kamala Harris, Biden. Biden loved Israel, supporting Israel, being a strong friend of Israel. They love it. And of course, Trump too, captured. And J.D. Vance is just a little technocratic piggy creation of Peter Thiel, So basically got tech bros and hedge funder, tech bro, Naziville taking over everything. Oh my gosh. Crazy. But I didn't want this day to go by without remembering the raid on the store. The raid on the exchange place in Ramallah that the IDF did. They're just thuggy pigs. Guantanamo's still open. It's crazy. That Guantanamo's still open. There's people we said, Al Qaeda, they're the horrible enemy. They're so scary. If you're even associated with Al Qaeda, we could take you down to Guantanamo and torture you. Private rendition you in a private plane down to Guantanamo, extrajudicially, just take you down and just torture you for life. Because you're Al Qaeda. Oh my God, Al Qaeda. It's funny. And then we use Al Qaeda to overthrow a secular government in Syria. So we're not supporting Al Qaeda. We support Al Qaeda. We're on the side of Al Qaeda now. But we're still torturing people because they're Al Qaeda in Guantanamo Bay. I think that's happening. It's true. Man, we're in a dark place. And we're not talking about anything that really matters because we're all stuck on this celebrity tiffer chat. Oh my God, I'm super triggered by Elon Musk. No kings, Elon Musk. That's so powerful, bro. It's so powerful when we get out here and just go, no, bro, no kings. When the CIA encourages us to get triggered about something that will go nowhere and be divisive, and then we just do it. It's so powerful, bro. Oh my God, it's so powerful. I just feel so empowered when we come out here and just a bunch of 70-year-olds from Berkeley Hills come down from their little mini mansions, and we go to the Tesla where working class families are actually making cars. We're gonna go down there and protest that crap, really shut that down, because celebrity tit for tat, woohoo! And we don't have nothing to say about what's happened to Kaiser Scam Plenty. Kaiser is a monopoly. Aetna, Kaiser, there's not many choice. United Healthcare, okay? Nothing to say about that. They love it. No push for the public option in healthcare, Med for All. You got AOC, a candidate AOC was all into that, and then once she became Kiss Nancy Pelosi's butt AOC, corporate Democrat piece of shit AOC, she then blocked the effort to do Med for All. Blocking Med for All, supporting private equity on the teat of the pharmaceuticals and Israel and all that other stuff. So, and then over in the conservative Republicatard side of things, the super Republican nerds, they're really triggered by migrants still and stuff like that, and they're super triggered by anybody who critiques Israel. Because they're beholden to a foreign power called Israel. And they think that Israel, the modern thing that's trying to create a theocratic fascist state there in Israel, they think that's the same people that were from Judea, like the Judeans in the Bible. They think it's the same kind of thing. So for them, it's kind of biblical to keep supporting Israel. And they just can't have any kind of objective mind on that at all. And then people that speak out about Palestine or support anything about Palestine, Hamas, it's Hamas. They've been duped. They're idiotic. They have no idea that Hamas is a creation of the Mossad. There was a Palestinian Authority. They don't know any history. We don't have journalism anymore. So they're easily manipulated, easily triggered. They don't realize the Palestinians had the Palestinian Authority. There's a way, they had some governing, they had some way to talk to the Israelis and all this kind of stuff. The far right, these are far right. These are people that are to the right of Genghis Khan, have taken over Israel, the Likud party, the Ben Gurions and people that, like people with Polish names that change their name to like really crazy names that sound like Netanyahu kind of thing, when his name is really Milikovsky. Those people, are super militant, super crazy, super racist. They hate anything Palestinian, Arabic. They want to destroy, take over, and not just ethnically cleanse. They really, it's a genocide. It's not just ethnic cleansing. They want them all gone. They don't want any, or they want them there as their slaves and servants. Kind of an Occupy situation of apartheid. It's been apartheid, but now it's going to be like even worse. And they're going to love that. They think they envision this purified, beautiful Gaza in the future, and they think that they're going to be safe. Israel is over. Israel's never going to be safe. The images that have come out of there, the things that I've heard, what they've done to people, it's not going to be forgotten anytime soon. I think they're pretty much over. And the fact that we are complicit in that, Americans enabled that, we did it. Without our support, they wouldn't have been able to have been genocidal, crazy, Nazi, rapist, monster pigs that they are. They wouldn't have been able to do it. Lying, monster pig, mind warping, owning every media thing. They wouldn't have been able to do all that without help from America. So I'm seeing in Australia, I'm seeing this kind of like Australian, American, Israeli kind of thing, like going down, like being diminished. Maybe after some war, we won't go down without a fight. We're going to fling some shit and destroy some shit. Go down screaming like a little baby. But I don't see it as ever creating a culture, uniting again as a society, coming together. Everything that's done by both sides is basically designed to create more division locally at home here, and then to project power over there. And they don't care. It's totally asymmetrical now. It's just totally boom. Oh, is that a baby on the street? Just bomb it. Boom, boom, blow it up right in front of its parents. Yay, That's the kind of sadistic pigs that we've let take over and supported, unfortunately. And I don't think it's going to be forgotten. I think we're going to see a new power emerge, a kind of a BRICS, if you will. Maybe Russia and India and China and Iran and I don't know but it's not. They're probably going to be like, yes, fuck Israel. Sorry, forget Israel. Forget. We don't need them. And in America, they had a great economy. They did a lot of great things. Yeah, not anymore. They're done. Europe's already gone. Europe's been they pushed. They did migration in such a way that was so devastating to like Germany and England and France and stuff. And then they had these kind of liberal, kind of neoliberal governments, kind of faux labor governments that then vilified the locals. They're vilifying locals and vilifying the free speech of the locals. People are getting arrested for things that they post on Facebook in England. And once that starts happening, I don't want to pretend that things are even normal anymore. If somebody comes to tell me something because of something I posted on Facebook, I don't ever want to pay another dime in taxes to that government. I want to become the enemy of that government at this point because I'm a constitutionalist. I support free speech, the Constitution. I kind of support that everywhere. Constitutional republic, okay, democracy, quote unquote, whatever that means, you have to define that for yourself in real terms in that time. What are we talking about in terms of democracy? How much power do the people actually have? What are the real elements of power? Who's manipulating? What's going on here? In this kind of post-journalist crazy environment, what are we triggered about? What are we talking about? What's going on? While real power does what? Where's the real mechanisms of power? Where's the real money? Where's the real power in UK right now? What are they doing? What's happening? While people on the streets are being stabbed and raped by immigrants. And then they're not allowed to post or say anything about it because their government hates them. Right? And so this is happening, they don't want you to talk about it. Here in America, we got to say, oh, the crime. we got the police to just they're downgrading crimes. When you get stabbed or raped or your car gets jacked or whatever, we're going to call that a misdemeanor. We're not going to report it right. We want the stats to go down, And so when people that live in Los Angeles, people that live in Washington, D.C., people that live in Oakland, we know it's shit. And it's not just crime. It's just shit. It's just let real estate hedge funders, people from out of town come and buy up 40% of the real estate. And then whatever, they don't want to do local services for the locals. They don't care. Local services for the locals everywhere is going to hell. And they are being vilified if they point it out. They don't have rights anymore. So the Constitution is the thing. Your rights, your free speech. If that's not operative, then we need to go back to revolution, right? We need to you get rid of this government that doesn't respect our rights. I don't care what color they are. I don't care if they're the most awesome black females ever, like Ryan took over. That'd be awesome. I would love it if real, community black moms took over the government. I think they would do a better job. It can't be the Letitia Browns, Jamie Crockett kind of political striving, cloying, opportunistic racist. Can't be them. But anyway, I don't care who they are. Basically, what I'm saying is if they support the Constitution and fight for our rights and have the ability to see all Americans as kind of equal, I'm for them. I'm with them. I don't know where they are. They're not out there. It's a bunch of posers and haters. People either love Trump or hate Trump or forget Trump. He's a white zit who needs to be popped, We need to get rid of him because he's such a distraction. Trump is a problem because he's a distraction. Whether you like him or hate him or love him or whatever. At this point, he's been turned into a giant orange clown. And people are never going to be able to really see around the orange clown enough to know what they need to do with their Congress. Or to know what they really need to do, That's the unfortunate thing. And the CIA just loves him. They made a thing. They've got just NPR is just Ian Masters, men like that, people that would have some brains, they're smarter than me, better educated than me, better connected than me, better informed than me. They would be a nice ally to the working class. That would be really nice if they could focus on some things that matter. You tune into Ian Masters any day of the week, it's just all Trump. And then Trump, he's really not qualified, is he? Trump, oh my, he's stupid, huh? Trump, oh my, and fascism and Nazi and fascism and Trump and Trump and Trump and Trump. And see, they can't see Raytheon. They never could see Raytheon. They never could see West Exec. They can't see John Brennan. So John Brennan has still Victoria Nuland, Anthony Blinken, Anthony, not Anthony, Blinken. These kind of people still have just total free pass to do whatever they want. They get genetic, they're creating viruses to kill people. They're just, I mean, they're crazy. It's crazy. Weapons labs. They're weaponizing a virus. No one can be honest about that. They're weaponizing viruses. They've ruined medicine. They're just evil. Some of them are repugs. Some of them are Democrats. You got to get out of the bipartisan false polarity that you're stuck in, partisan myopia that's ruined all my friends' brains. We got to transcend. See what's really happening. Real power. Somebody, where's an intentional community? Where's a community? I want to go to a community today. I'd like to go out there in a community today and say, hey, Jeff, this is nice. We're here in Minnesota and we're keeping our libraries open late. The kids here seem pretty happy. They're walking home at night by themselves, unmolested, no problem. It's pretty safe. No one's freaked out. Everyone's pretty good. Where is that community in America right now? It's not there by design. All right. So fight for tangible things. Get out of this celebrity tit for tat crap. Public option in healthcare. Do we have it or not? We don't have it. Healthcare sucks. Renee Salcedo was an awesome activist during the housing crisis in San Francisco. And a lot of people have been going to board meetings and stuff like that. She went in there with her form of protest and she had a chart with a checklist on it. It's like, it had a list. Moratorium, senior evictions, with a box. Is the board on board with this or not? Okay, I'm taking that as a no. San Francisco Board of Housing, not for a moratorium. We didn't get that yet. Just she goes down the list. Do we get this one? Yes, no, right? So we need to do that on a community level. Community-wide, do the kids feel safer? And do they have more resources being directed to them in a stabilized community that's not just some fluctuating thing that's being raped by a private equity for maximum profit, right? It's actually a community that's being built, a stable community with public education that works. It's not taken over by ideological crazy zaniness. Oh, let's just see how extreme we can go, that's not the point of it. Tap into the culture of your parents and teach history education the way they like it and just go forward, Include everything in that history. It's one history. It's not Black history, Mexican, Rasa history, Latinx history, blah, 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 Native American history. No. No, that all needs to be included in history. And if you just read history, Howard Zinn, pick it up off the shelf, bro. Just read it, It's history. It's there. You need to specialize in little categories and then start saying white people are bad, make the white kids feel bad. Or you don't need to do any of that crap either. On either side. People are making such huge mistakes culturally on both sides because we're not able to face directly the fact that elites don't give a crap about us and they're gutting our communities. That's what we can't face. If the kid's a liberal or transgender or gay or whatever, is there a park for him to play in? Is it safe for her? Is there sports? After school activities? Are they learning foreign languages? Are they learning music? Are they safe? If you're not safe, you don't learn. Something happens in your brain, your hippocampus, if you're always in the kind of a fight or flight weird mode. It's hard to acquire new, sit around and think about Shakespeare or something. if you're thinking you're going to have to return fire. You know what I mean? All right. I just needed to rant a little bit, I guess. I feel better. Thank you, Internet. You're kind of my last friend. You're the last thing that listens. I have a shirt that says NSA, the only part of the government that actually listens. And here I am. All right. Have a good one. Stay strong. Be blessed. And keep prayers. Keep your thoughts, your intentions. Keep your humanity, your sense of humor, your ability to love and have compassion for others. It's going to be tested. It's going to be poked a lot. And you're going to be triggered and pushed into weird different ways and hating your fellow Americans for different things and hating immigrants or not loving them and hating the Americans. You're going to hate somebody, right? Hate is the operative thing in the hyper-capitalist collapse where they're taking from you so much. They're using your hate against you. And that's sad. So talk about love. Love is the antidote. Understanding, compassion, empathy, real understanding, right? You're not going to be mad at someone because of their skin tone or their gender or what they've chosen to do. You're not going to be mad at them about any of that because you have empathy, compassion, understanding, love, a higher consciousness, a higher way of thinking, of long term, thinking about the long term of your life, the long-term trajectory of this community that you're in. And that's how you do it.